This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
And I'm Giff.
All right. It feels, I've been telling Gifford here, we're a week later than normal. It feels like it's been forever since we've done this. Like, I don't think we've done this since Thanksgiving, have we?
Real-time land. Well, what was 2 weeks ago?
Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I guess it probably was, right? Yeah. Would have been right around, yeah.
So, I think we did it like the Monday before. So anyway, that was Diane Keaton. That came out just yesterday. So actually now we're on like that schedule. This is coming out Monday. So like, you know, usually we're ahead, but
yeah, we're usually
not
a week,
the rest of this month.
2 weeks ahead, but yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
I think we got it. I think we've done this enough. We can.
I would hope so. After 5 years,
get through this with flying colors.
We are here to talk tonight about our third icon who died this year.
Mm-hmm.
We've got into Diane Keaton and Gene Hackman, and now we're going into Robert Redford, who, as I'm going through this list, I mean, man, what an icon! What a guy that just was in so many things and did and acting and directing. He could do it all.
Old Chucky, that's what they called him.
They called him Old Chucky?
Yeah, Charles. His first name is Charles.
Okay. I guess I didn't see that in my research. It seems like an easy one to find, but I missed it.
Charles Robert Redford Jr.
Okay.
Chucky.
Well, and he was also Mr. Handsome, and we're going to draft leading men tonight. So when our third guest, or a host actually, Pete is usually on, he always likes to make him stink about whenever we say something nice about the way a man looks, because apparently he's not secure in himself, I guess.
Right.
But we're going to talk about traditional leading men tonight, and Robert Redford is definitely on that list.
Right. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but you're not on my list for that, because you are our leading man for sure. And you've got the matinee looks to go along with it.
But I'm non-traditional.
Yes.
All right. Well, when did you get into Robert Redford or learn who he was, Gifford?
Well, for me, like one of my all-time favorite movies is The Sting.
Yes, it is. You've said that before.
That, of course, came out in 1973, so that is what we like to call BG before GIF. But I did find it probably
hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, forget it. I turned the sound down, so maybe we'll cut that little piece out.
Oh, that's great.
Say that again. BG before GIF.
BG or before GIF.
There it was.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I messed it all up.
We got Preacher Row in studio with us tonight, and hum over there on the skins.
That's right.
So, I probably caught it on, ABC's Movie of the Week or something when I was a little kid. But I love it. I love, it's a great caper movie. Paul Newman was amazing in it as well. Those two playing off of each other.
Man.
Exactly. Were absolutely wonderful. So that, to me, is always the thing I go back to as my first remembrance of Redford. How about yourself?
Okay. Well, for me, it's maybe the more obvious one for people of our age. So I saw The Natural.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I actually saw that in the movie theater or later, but I would have been, like 9 years old when I saw it. 8, maybe if it's in the movie theater. And I mean, I love that movie. I mean, I'm growing up. I loved baseball as a kid, and that movie was just awesome. And the soundtrack and the ending of it when he hits the lights, it's just one of the greatest moments in sports movies ever. So that was the big one for me. But this is kind of like, we talked about my Harrison Ford story, and we talked last week about Diane Keaton. I saw the movie Baby Boom for some reason. Another movie from Robert Redford that I saw in the movie theater, I think my parents must have brought me to because they wanted to see it, was Legal Eagles in 1986 with Deborah Winger and I think Daryl Hannah.
I think so, yep.
And I totally remember going to see that movie. And so I knew Robert Redford from that as well. So those are kind of the first two, but definitely, The Natural was like
your big one.
And
yeah.
And then, we got into high school, and it's kind of like Gene Hackman, where this is another guy that kind of had this renaissance. I guess he never really went away, but, he just, with Indecent Proposal and the movie Sneakers, which we're going to talk about, and others in the 90s, like, he was massive again and killing it.
And, yeah, I mean, and he was not necessarily always on screen because he did delve into the director side of thing, which he had, massive.
And he was probably as or more successful as a director, even. That's where his Oscar comes from. Not acting, but directing.
Right. Yeah. One of his Oscars. I did find it interesting that he won 3 Oscars that are no longer awarded anymore.
Oh, I must have missed that one, too. Like, what kind of things were those?
Well, so there's the Henriette Award, which was given out early on in the Oscars, where they would take the most popular star, male and female, for the year. Like, so if you were killing it at the box office, that would help your rating there. So he won that in 75, 77, and 78 when he was just churning out movie after movie after movie.
Well, I wonder if Burt Reynolds ever won one of those, because I always learned in Win, Lose, or Draw that he was America's #1 box office draw 5 years running.
Well, it was ended in 1980, so
okay. Well, then
would have been real close to win.
But that's when Smoking the Bandit came out, was like 77, yep. So that's when his run started.
Right, but that was also that was when Our Man Tonight was winning in 77, 78, because
True.
He was doing awesome work in there. So yeah, he's got what three of those. He's got a promising newcomer. Oh, that's the Golden Globe, sorry. But he also won an honorary Oscar in 2002, which was interesting because he was also nominated beyond that. So
he also won a Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016. So
yep,
decorated in more ways than one.
Well, and he had Kennedy Center Honors in 2005, Cecil B. DeMille in 94, 2 Emmy noms. So yeah, he's done rather well for himself. Quiz show he was nominated for Best Actor in The Sting. And I always thought he was great in that, but I always loved Paul Newman probably more. I thought he was a little bit more
nominated for that one.
He was not.
Oh, really?
He seemed to have a little bit more of the comedic relief, I always felt, in that movie, and that might have been why, right? Like we talked over and over again about actors not being nominated in comedic roles.
And speaking of the honorary Oscars, or not the honorary, but the one that's not given anymore for being a big star.
Oh, that was actually Golden Globe. Sorry, I just looked it up. That was a Golden Globe award.
Oh, okay. Well, in 1974, Redford became the first performer since Bing Crosby in 1946 to have 3 films in the final year's top 10 grossing titles. So, and each year between 74 and 76, he was voted the top box office star. So, and that's 20 years before we're in high school, and he's still a big, huge star. But he was pretty massive there in the old mid-70s.
Yes, he was. Yeah, and I went back a little ways to watch some movies that I hadn't seen before, and we can get into those. But they were some 3 of them were took place in the 70s for those movies, or were released in the 70s.
Probably got a few more little fun facts or things about him too. One that I found fun is that in high school he was friends with Don Drysdale of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And he went to college at Colorado, and he worked at The Sink, which is a place I have been. So The Sink is this cool...
Did you see his painting there?
No, I don't remember that, because I didn't know that till now. But so The Sink is like right across the street from like the campus, and it's this famous bar. I have a friend who went to Colorado, and my family went to Colorado it was like 6-7 years ago now. 6-7. We had to go to that bar, and we did, and you get to write like on the ceiling, and I got a picture of my kid writing on the ceiling with his name. And so to read about Robert Redford working there and being there, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, he developed himself a little bit of a drinking habit, it sounded like, in Colorado there. So he didn't fare as well, and got out of there and then did some traveling overseas. So I just kind of wrote down a few things here. So he started stage acting in 59 and then had some small TV roles. Started in 60. Had his first
credit
uncredited
was
movie role in
TV
60.
show Maverick in 1960.
Right, for
24 years
TV.
old.
Yep. First stage success was in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park in 63. And then he also got an Emmy nom for Best Supporting Actor in The Voice of Charlie Point in 62. So he started stage acting in 59 and then was nominated for an Emmy just 3 years later. So pretty quick start for him. And then, of course, he became a star of the big screen in 69 with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which he won a BAFTA award for.
All right.
Which would be a British Academy Awards.
A couple more things I have here is that he was pretty well known for his support of things, and he supported environmentalism, Native American rights, LGBT rights, and the arts. And he was a supporter of many advocacy groups like the Political Action Committee and the Directors Guild of America, of course, which he would be a part of. But he was much of an activist as well, at least on some level, and known for that throughout his time as well.
Well, and then also a big proponent of independent films, independent filmmaking, and was the founder of the Sundance Film Festival as well.
Well, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's huge.
He also passed on The Graduate, I read, which I thought was interesting. And then, of course, one of his best movies is with Dustin Hoffman, which we'll get to. But he could have maybe had that part if he had taken it.
Well, I mean, like you said, he's got the look for it, right? And that he would have been perfect age at the time of that movie. And
they're very different. I feel like the movie would change a lot. I mean, Dustin Hoffman, I love him, but I don't look at him as being like your
matinee idol.
Yeah, right. Like, it feels like a different movie with Robert Redford in there than with Dustin Hoffman.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of older women. I think
Dustin Hoffman fits better for what that movie was.
Sure. But I'm sure there were a lot of older women that were looking to seduce a young Robert Redford as well. So
I'm sure they were.
Could have understood that.
All right. Well, should we start going through?
Yeah, let's go through this massive filmography that he's put together.
So you mentioned his first big movie was 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. This is one that I watched probably 20 to 23 years ago on Netflix discs.
Yep.
And I remember liking it. I mean, I went through all these old movies that I wanted to see that I had never seen, and heard a lot about. And I remember it being a fun movie and really liking it, but I tried to watch it again, and I don't know. You know how you just get distracted by things and you just can't... I couldn't get into it this time, and I felt really bad. And so I turned it off, actually, because I just don't have time to watch all those movies. So I went on to All the President's Men, which we'll get to in a little bit. And I feel bad about it because I know it's a good movie, but for some reason it just didn't catch me this time. And so I don't have much else to say about my feelings on it. I do know I liked it back when I watched it the first time. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it this time, but much like you, I watched it many moons ago. And again, because of, the awesome cast with Newman, like I always felt like, cause I was familiar with The Sting. So I was used to these two, being a pair,
And speaking of The Graduate, you have Catherine Ross in this movie, who was the love interest, the younger one in The Graduate, not Mrs. Robinson.
Correct.
This movie
I mean, I thought it was, I enjoyed watching it when I saw it. But yeah, I have not gone back and watched it again.
I was hoping maybe you had watched it this time so you could put me in my place, but I guess we're not going to have that happen. This movie is also just as famous maybe for the song Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which is written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David, and sung by B.J. Thomas, who we talked a lot about when we did with Children of the 80s and talked about all those TV theme songs, who sang Growing Pains. But so a lot of people felt that song was kind of weird and didn't have the right tone for a Western. But the director, George Hill, insisted on it being in there, and Redford wasn't sure about it either, kind of disapproved of it. But he acknowledged he was wrong because it went on to be a big thing, and there was no rain in the movie. Didn't make sense to him. Seemed like a dumb idea. But he was wrong. It was a giant hit, and it was one of the things that also helped that movie be even more memorable.
Yep. Yeah,
I did get to that part. They're riding on a bike. It's cute, but I don't know. I hate it when that happens because it's happened a couple. Just to get to it, you'll be able to talk about The Sting. I tried to watch a Sting like 2 years ago because you told me. I've heard you talk about it so many times. And the day I tried to watch it, I just couldn't do it. And I know it's a great movie, and I know I'd probably like it, but I could not do it, and I hate that. If anybody else out there has that affliction, let me know. Let me know I'm not alone.
I tend to have that affliction when we do homework for the show. Like we pick something that's just awesome, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I have a hard time sitting down watching it because I know I have to take notes.
Because then I got to pay attention and take notes. It's like it forces me to really get into it.
Right. For me, it's like I put it off, and it's like, oh, I got to sit and watch this with note. Like, it kind of takes some of the joy away from just sitting and watching. Which is why it was a little more fun doing this. I mentioned this with Hackman. Just sitting and watching the movies was fun. You take a couple notes,
and I did watch some. I got ones to talk about coming up here, but this one I couldn't do it.
Well, and so that same year he puts out Downhill Racer. That was one I was looking at. I was gonna watch that one, but I didn't. I've heard really good things about it.
I've never even heard of that movie.
But same year. So quiet, cocky guy joins the U.S. ski team as downhill racer and clashes with the team coach. Basically what we got cooking there. So Gene Hackman is in it as well. That was one of the other reasons I was going to sit down and watch it, but I didn't. I'm still wondering. I might throw it back on the list here because it's relatively quick. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and wouldn't mind taking a run at it. But I did watch quite a few other ones.
All right. Well, one of his next movies I know you've seen because you said, and this is Jeremiah Johnson from 1972. Mm-hmm. And I had never heard of this movie either. And there's this, this famous meme. That's the only reason I know this is because there's this famous meme of this guy with a big beard nodding, and it doesn't look anything like Robert Redford. And I've seen it for years and years. And when he died, I found out that was Robert Redford. And then you had said you'd seen this movie. So tell us something about Jeremiah Johnson, Gift.
So this was one of the movies on the HBO tapes from Uncle Jer that I got. And so, again, I would have been middle school age when we started getting these tapes. And because I was living out on the farm, bored most of the time when I wasn't working, I watched the movie. I'm like, well, let's put it in. It's Robert Redford. It's got to be halfway decent. To me, I think I was a little young. It was very solitary, pretty much just him and out in the wilderness. A lot of it was filmed by the Sundance Ranch, which he bought after his success with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and hence the name. So a lot of it was shot out there in Utah, but I couldn't tell you much more. I just remember thinking, this is kind of a boring movie for
a kid,
a kid watching it by himself, so I can't really remember much, but every time I saw that meme, I knew exactly what it was from.
I still see that meme and I cannot see him in there. I can't even recognize him. It's crazy.
Okay.
Did he put on a lot of weight? Because he's
wearing heavy. Well, he's got a big beard.
His face just looks giant compared. I don't know. It's crazy that that's him. That was a mind-blowing thing to learn there.
Sure. Yeah, that was his Revenant, for Leo when he did Revenant. So,
all right, 1973 was a big year. First, he had The Way We Were with Barbara Streisand, who I'm not a fan of her. I've not seen this, but of course, it's a famous movie with a famous song. But then he did The Sting, and with Paul Newman, they reunited, and he was nominated for Best Actor, and it's one of your favorite movies.
Well, I'm going to back up first, though, because I did watch The Candidate from 72.
Oh, you did? Wow.
So that one, it's unfortunately, it's reminiscent of today. So basically, you got Peter Boyle is basically a political, I guess, candidate runner. Like he would run campaigns. So he's
campaign manager.
Campaign manager. So it starts with his candidate losing a campaign, and he needs to go out and find the next thing, the next person to run. And Robert Redford is a public defender in California who, is good looking, and his dad is the former governor of California. So he's got name recognition and he's good looking. And so it's political satire, drama, comedy, and it basically he's running against a three-time incumbent, and Peter Boyle says you can say whatever you want, you can take on whatever issues you want, you can really mix up this race and bring up issues because you're going to lose anyway. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, if only.
So that's what he did, and he ended up winning the election at the end. So, sorry, spoiler alert is from 72. I figured if you don't know, but it was just kind of interesting because it's showing a guy who he's very almost Redford like because he's a public defender. He's very issues orientated. He's very locally. He's trying to do what's right by the people in his community. And then he has to go statewide and run this campaign and try to do the right thing. Everything's, he's all environmental. He's the Democratic candidate running against a Republican incumbent. So, I mean, I watched it thinking back to like the West Wing, very reminiscent of the West Wing when they would run their campaigns, very idealistic and a lot of the same ridiculousness that you would find in politics today. But I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, and Peter Boyle's always great as well. So
it's
good.
Kind of funny too.
There's some stuff in there, yeah, that's a little funny, but like I say, it's almost a little sad because it's like it is today, except today's a little bit even crazier yet, So, but yeah, there was some funny stuff in there. It was interesting because, like, he's not even they're like the campaign just runs and he just happens to be a guy who's along for the ride. You know what I mean? There's this whole machine around him trying to get him elected, and doesn't really matter what his thoughts are on something. It's just we're just going to keep pushing you down the road.
Sounds like something I might like.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, then
you're still up for The Sting.
Yes, The Sting, outstanding film. I really love it. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you think of like how could you get all of these people together to pull off this massive con. But I've always loved, these con movies. And you've got unbelievable actors with obviously Redford and Newman, but Robert Shaw from Jaws fame is the Mark in this. And I love the way like he talks is just excellent. But the cast is phenomenal. The story, I just love all the moving pieces that need to fall into place to make this con go off.
And it's like not movies like that. I got to give it another try. I'll get to it someday.
And it's not believable in the end, of course, because Robert Shaw's a big, powerful guy, and he wouldn't really necessarily fall for this. But I think it's great. I've always loved that movie. I still own it on VHS. If my VCR would work, I would probably watch it a little bit more. But it is great. And like I say, it's 73, so both the guys are really young. And like I said, Newman has just some absolutely hilarious lines and moments. There's a scene on a train when they're playing poker and he's acting like he's drunk. And that's one of the best scenes in the whole movie for me is him beating Robert Shaw's character in poker by cheating better than he does. So yeah, it's great. I can't say enough good things about The Sting.
All right, in 1974, he did The Great Gatsby with Mia Farrow. So, and I have seen this a long time ago because, of course, I'm an English teacher, and this is maybe my favorite book of all time. And it was pretty good, but I don't know. It felt very slow and boring, maybe because it's maybe too sticking to the material. The new one that came out, which is 12 years old now, but the Baz Luhrmann one, I love that movie and think it's great. This one seemed a lot slower to me.
2 hours and 24 minutes.
Yeah, see, that's too much. So, and of course, when I did watch it, even though I love the book, I was a lot younger. Maybe I'd like it more now if I watched it, but I would much rather watch DiCaprio and that version. Right. I think.
Maybe if you cut it down a little bit, call it The Good Gatsby instead.
However, Robert Redford playing that role, seemed to kind of fit right for him. So
Mhm.
he did great. But then we get to 1976, the year we were born, and he did all the. Oh, you got one before that?
I watched 3 Days of the Condor from 75.
Oh my goodness, you just went off on this.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen a lot of
I
these.
just wrote down the ones I thought that we would have seen, but you're surprising me.
Yeah, so this one is a CIA thriller. Sidney Pollack is the director. You got Faye Dunaway in it. So basically, he works in a CIA field office, and all he does is read material. Like everybody in his office just reads stuff, and they turn in reports. And so he's not like a field agent, like trained in guns and weaponry and, evasion and all this other stuff. And he comes back from picking up lunch and everybody in his office is dead. And so he is basically on the run. His code name is Condor. And he basically tries to figure out what the heck is going on. And, of course, it's the CIA. So there's secrets on top of secrets on top of secrets. And, it comes to find out that there's actually people in the CIA that are responsible for the deaths of all his coworkers. And it's all because he wrote some report that tied something to something else in a report in the beginning. And somebody saw that report and said, uh-oh, he's onto us and we need to exterminate all these people. So it's a cat and mouse game. And I thought it was pretty dang good.
It sounds
just shy
good.
of 2
You're
hours.
making me feel like I need to do my Christmas break here. I'm going to need to do another Robert Redford marathon.
Well, and I mean, I'd always heard about 3 Days of the Condor. I've just never sat and watched it. So, some of this is also because we did take, because of scheduling, we had an extra week to prepare for Mr. Redford. So I got into
you used it well.
I feel like I did.
Did you watch All the President's Men?
I watched it again. I'd seen it many years ago.
Yeah, I did too. And then this is one I watched.
Yeah, and I remember liking it a lot. I love the political intrigue of it, the history of it. Who knows? Obviously there's got to be dramatization of this and conversations and how things really went. But, Woodward and Bernstein breaking the Watergate scandal wide open, which leads to, Nixon's resignation is fascinating. And
yeah, so it's him and Dustin Hoffman, who's fantastic. These performances are great. It's got that gripping direction. I love stories like this, and you know what happens, right? I mean, because it's based on history, but it's still like it's not necessarily a courtroom drama, but it's got that feel, and I love those kind of movies. So Jason Robards won Best Supporting Actor, so those guys didn't win, but he did. And Jane Alexander, who I'd never heard of, was nominated as well, and she actually had 4 Oscar nominations, and she's somebody I've never heard of before this movie. She was the person that kind of that turned him in, that was really scared to talk, and they went, and Dustin Hoffman kept going back to her and finally got it out of her.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah, she was.
Her and Jason Robards, they were amazing.
Oh, she was the bookkeeper. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, gotcha. The bookkeeper. But they stand out amongst these giants of acting.
Well, Holbrook, was.
So I had watched that a long time ago on Netflix Disc. Thought it was fantastic. It got 8 Oscar nominations and won 4. So obviously, the people loved it at the time too. And it's like a thriller, but like I said, what's going to happen basically, but it still just keeps you on the edge of your seat. And between the director and the acting, it's fantastic. I love that movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. Lot of fun, very well done, and worth the rewatch. I was not disappointed watching
that one. I did not get bored by or get lost. I was into that one.
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I mean, it takes you for a ride, right?
Do you have anything before 1980s Ordinary People?
No, I do not.
Okay, so speaking of directing. Robert Redford is not in Ordinary People, but he decided to get behind the camera, and this movie won Best Picture and Best Director. And nominated for more awards, too. This is the one that I was going to try to watch, but I didn't have time. The other Oscar-nominated person was Timothy Hutton, who the only time I ever knew who he was is from one of my favorite movies, Beautiful Girls, in 1996.
Sure.
Which, outside of that, I really never seen him. And to go back and learn when I watched that movie that this guy was nominated for an Oscar as like a kid. And really, you'd think that would have set him off onto some big arc, but he really never had that at all. But I like him in Beautiful Girls, and obviously he did well here. This is his first film role, and he's nominated for an Oscar.
I just started watching it tonight.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not very far into it. You got Donald Sutherland plays the father, Mary Tyler Moore the mother, and they lost their eldest son. You got Judd Hirsch as
Mary Tyler Moore and Judd Hirsch both nominated also for Oscars as well as the screenplay.
And Judd Hirsch is the psychiatrist that's trying to help young Timothy Hutton, who is this is before the movie starts, but he had tried to commit suicide, and now he's out of the hospital, back at school, and he's basically just getting in with the psychiatrist, and it's basically the demise of this family, upper middle class family, after losing their eldest son. So I'm not that far into it, but so far, it's awesome. And
I'm sure it's great, but it's one of those that sounds so depressing that it's hard to like sit down and like force yourself to watch, even though you're probably going to like it. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to be depressed, but I bet it's great.
Well, and it's 2 hours, so it is a little bit of a commitment, but the cast is, it's pretty awesome. So,
and did you know who was originally cast for the Donald Sutherland part?
Was it Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman.
Was it really?
That's right.
Okay.
Got a lot of good crossovers here this month.
Yeah. Well, and wasn't Animal House 79?
No, Animal House is 78. Or
78.
70.
Okay.
It's before that.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, two completely different roles for Mr. Sutherland here.
Yeah.
Between the pot-smoking college professor and, now a father dealing with, the pain and suffering of losing a child.
All right, I'm going to jump ahead to The Natural now, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
So as I said, this is where I really got to know Robert Redford. And this movie you've got this great score. The music when he hits the lights is just off the charts. The story is awesome. Now, I never even really thought about it, probably maybe because I was a kid at first, but he's like 48 years old in this movie. So he's playing, and he's an older baseball player, right?
Middle-aged,
but still, he is way older than like you would be in real life. But you got the whole story of the Wonder Boy bat, the lightning. It's just so good. And then you've got Kim Basinger in here, and you've got Robert Duvall, and you got Glenn Close. You got Wilford Brimley, who's about the same age as Robert Redford, but looks like he's 25 years older than him.
Right.
You got Barbara Hershey again, like you had in Hoosiers.
Who's your favorite? Yep. She shows up in great sports movies.
Yeah, she does. And so this is probably, and I love sports and I love sports movies. This is probably the first sports movie that I really ever saw and truly loved. And so it just stands out. I haven't watched it a ton of times compared to some, like Major League, I've seen so many times.
Right.
But I've definitely seen it many, many times. And, it doesn't get old. And his performance is it's great. And it's a little dramatic, and he's got the blood in his shirt. But, then that came out with like Kurt Schilling had that on his shoe in the playoffs. And it's like, oh my God, it's like The Natural here. And so it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah. This one I didn't rewatch.
I didn't either.
I would have had to buy it. I don't have Paramount. So I did not rewatch it. I'm just going to echo everything you said. It's just such a fun story. You're pulling for the underdog because he's, like you say, he's aging, comes out of nowhere, and just literally knocks it out of the park.
And knocks the cover off the ball, too.
Yes, he does.
I mean, there's definitely some elements that are a little over the top, but it's like you just love it. And that's what baseball, that's how you're supposed to view baseball, especially back then when people liked it more and the game wasn't ruined by the commissioner and all the other stuff they're doing. But
right.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, let's get into that real quick.
In 85, he did another giant movie, Out of Africa, which I don't think I will ever watch, but it's him and Meryl Streep. It won tons of Oscars. It looks boring as heck, and I don't care about Out of Africa. Good for it. That's your prestige movie right there that a 9-year-old kid wasn't going to watch, and I don't care anymore still.
No.
You
Never
have not
seen
seen it then? Okay.
No, I have not. Nope.
In '86, he did Legal Eagles with Deborah Winger and Daryl Hannah, which I said, and this was directed by Ivan Reitman, who the last time we did our In Memoriam month, we did Ivan Reitman. That's who I picked, and we talked about I Love You, Man. I truly think I saw this in the movie theater, and so it has a big memory in my head of seeing it. I do think it was quite a fun movie. I looked it up; it got really bad reviews. It's not well thought of, but and as a 10-year-old kid, I'm sure that. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't written for kids, but I'm sure just being a little bit more fun and loose probably was something that I could relate to and get into.
Yeah, I looked at this one as far as one I was going to watch, but then I, read up on it and it was like, well, it wasn't well reviewed and kind of a box office flop. And I'm like, well, I got All the President's Men I can throw in, and let's watch that one instead.
There's a lot of other options.
Right.
Another movie I saw once was in 1988, The Milagro Beanfield War, that he directed, and it was an HBO movie. And so that's one of those movies that we got HBO at the time, and I would watch it all the time. And so this is one of those weird movies that's kind of small, and a lot of people probably haven't heard of. But like in my head, like I remember the name of that movie from being 12 years old, and I remember watching it once. I don't remember a lot about it. It's not like a fun movie or anything. But I do remember it being a thing. And
he
sticking there in that memory.
Directed that one?
He directed it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
All right, then we get to the 90s. And now we get into some really good stuff here. And he's already done good stuff, but like stuff that we all were alive to watch and see at the time for sure. So I watched the movie Sneakers from 1992.
I did as well.
You did again? Okay.
Yep.
I saw this in the theater. You might have been with, because we went with friends.
Sure.
And I don't know if I ever seen it since the movie theater, maybe once way back then, but I remember it being a really cool movie. I've kind of thought of watching it lots of times before, and so this is my chance. He's your leading man, but there is a great cast in this movie. So you've got Sidney Poitier. I mean, he'll be on our leading man list probably. You got River Phoenix. This is just a year before or 2 years before he dies tragically. He's great. You got Dan Aykroyd playing this kind of off-the-wall character.
Yep.
You got Ben Kingsley, another Oscar winner, Gandhi. You got James Earl Jones showing up.
Yep.
Darth Vader. Mary McDonnell's kind of the weak link to me. Of all the women actresses in the 90s that stood out, she's not my favorite, but she does a good job. But then there's three people that stand out to me here that aren't even on that list yet.
Okay.
So I love David Strathairn. You know who that is? That guy's awesome.
He was in The Firm. He was Tom Cruise's brother in The Firm when we talked about Gene Hackman.
Right, he was. I totally forgot that. So I was thinking, he's in the movie Simon Birch that I mentioned last week.
Sure. Yep.
And I love him in that. He's also, there's a new show on Netflix called A Man on the Inside with Ted Danson, which is fantastic because Ted Danson.
Courtney's watched that.
So good. But he's in the second season of that, and he's great in that. So I love that guy, and he's great in this movie. He's playing a blind guy.
Isn't he Goodnight from Good Night and Good Luck?
I think so. He's in tons of stuff. He's just one of those character actors.
Yep.
But then speaking of character actors, you also have Stephen Tobolowsky in this movie. Ned Ryerson. So a guy who everybody knows from one role, a minor role in a movie. Everybody knows that from Groundhog Day. But like this guy is one of the greatest character actors of our generation.
Well, and he was in Mississippi Burning.
He was horrible in that movie.
He was the businessman.
He was a jackass.
KKK guy. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then the funniest one, you have Timothy Busfield in this movie, and he's like a badass. It's like, I've never in my life thought of Timothy Busfield as a badass, but at the end of the movie, he's like tough guy, and I thought that was funny too. It's just loaded, this movie, with great people, and it did have a slow start. Like I was afraid I was going to lose myself on this one again. But the last half of this movie is gripping. It's got some funny parts. I thought it was a little funnier from my memory than it really is, but it's still kind of breezy. Yeah. There's an air duct scene at the end where he's stuck up in the air duct. It's just like Die Hard. Like obviously Die Hard, right? He's getting shot at. I love at the end. So David Strathairn is playing this blind guy, and it's always the kid or the blind guy that has to drive a car to save the day. Like you see, and he's got to drive this van and try to do something. Sidney Poitier and Mr. Serious, he has a great delivery of. There's really not much swearing in this movie, but he's got a great motherfucker at the end. It just stands out. It's like perfectly timed. I loved it. I love this movie. It was way fun. It's a heist movie. It's this
Yep.
complicated like
Great
heist
heist.
movie with this whole crew. Everybody's got their role. Dan Aykroyd's the computer guy. So sorry, I talked a lot. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I watched it again, last week. I do have a couple issues with the final like heist. So
there's issues.
We have the scene where he needs to walk 2 inches per second.
I feel like he's going faster than that.
Well, it's not that. Drop in on the other side of the room. Go through the roof, the ceiling further to the other side of the room and drop in.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, okay, why don't we think this out a little bit? And then, of course, when the jig is up, right? Like they figure out that the heist is happening, the guys who own the building, and you've got 1 million gunmen security people running all over the place, right? And then all of a sudden, Ben Kingsley catches up to him on the roof, and they're able to he's able to go down the ladder, get in the car, and drive away. Like, where'd all the security guys go? Why are they all of a sudden not around anymore? Like, there was hundreds of them.
It's like with the Sting. It's complicated, and you're going to have to suspend some of disbelief there, but...
But no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it again. I thought it was fun, and it was worth the rewatch for sure. And great cast.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I didn't remember Sidney Poitier being, and there's so many people in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 1992, you also have A River Runs Through It, which I always thought he was like a big star in it, but he's actually not. He's just a narrator. He's not even in the movie.
Right.
This was a movie I think I watched once when it came out. It's a pretty slow movie. I didn't love it, and I wasn't going to, try to get myself to watch it again. Do you like this movie? Have you seen it?
I much like you, I've seen it once, probably not long after it came out. I don't remember going to it in the theater, but I probably saw it on video. Of course, this is the movie.
It's one of his big movies after Thelma and Louise. This is when Brad Pitt starts to really go.
Launched him as the heartthrob. Thelma and Louise, that started him off, but this was kind of the one where he was highlighted, obviously, quite a bit more, and really launched him into the stratosphere as far as his popularity. But this is the big one. This is one of the big ones, right? Directed by Redford. Was it nominated? I'm sorry. Yeah, one Oscar win for best cinematography, and also nominated for writing and best music score. So, big movie, but yeah, for you and I, it just really never hit.
But 1 year later, one that I did go to the movie theater to see was Indecent Proposal, because everybody was watching these. Kind of drawing back to our In Memorium again, we did Honeymoon in Vegas, because James Caan died that year.
Yep.
And that actually came out first, but you had your dueling I'll Buy Your Wife for $1 million movies coming out at the same time, how that always works. This was a big deal when it came out. It was not critically well received, but it did make over $200 million and was the 6th highest grossing movie of the year. You got Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore, who are the young couple who are she's the one being sought after by him.
Yep.
I prefer Honeymoon in Vegas. I think it's way more fun. Nicolas Cage is great. I like Sarah Jessica Parker in the movie. James Caan too. But this is your more stylish, adulty, sexy movie, which is good. It was good for a watch. But if I'm going to watch one again, I'll take the Vegas one.
Yeah. Well, and you have. You've watched Honeymoon in Vegas how many times? I believe Redford was nominated for a Razzie for this movie. Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, not well received.
No.
But made a ton of money. All right, then he directed Quiz Show in 1994. It's another one I watched once, back when it came out. I bet if I watched it now, I would love it. As a kid, as an 18-year-old, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I get... But I love game shows, so I thought I was really going to get into it. And I remember it being okay. But it was a big deal. Well. It was up for a lot of awards. It's based on a good story. So...
Yeah. Yeah, this one, like I said before, Best Picture and Director Oscar nominations for Quiz Show.
And this is the year.
Go ahead.
So you've got Shawshank, Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, and I don't remember what else. But Quiz Show is... People talk about this being maybe the best year ever, or the best Best Picture group ever, and Quiz Show is a part of that, and was not like seen as an outlier. Like, it was considered great. So
yeah, I think that's one that I'm going to go back after I'm done with Ordinary People and probably watch
I'd put
that
that
one
on
again.
my list too.
Yep.
In 1996, he did Up Close and Personal with Michelle Pfeiffer. I did go see this one in the theater too, I think. I don't remember who I was with. Probably a girl, but I don't know who it would have been. But she was his protege in this news. And the worst part about this movie is it gave us the song Because You Love Me by Celine Dion, which I'm not going to be a fan of.
Oh, come on. Don't speak ill of
I don't
Miss
like
Dion.
Celine Dion.
Okay, fair enough.
I did like the movie, though, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer. And speaking of that, we just watched her new Christmas movie that's on Amazon last night. Called Oh, What Fun. And she's great. I mean, it's an okay movie. It's fine. It's worth a watch, but she's great. And she's like 67, 69 years old, and she looks great. It's amazing that, and I think she kind of quit acting more on her own because, lots of times actresses don't get roles because they don't look as good anymore when they get older. She looks amazing. So I wouldn't know why she wouldn't get roles, but I read about it and it seems like she kind of took herself out for more family stuff. Very picky about what she does.
I'm not going to let it pass that you just said 67 and 69 back to back. I can't do that.
I said them both.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of movies I will never watch, in 1998, there was The Horse Whisperer.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that makes me think of The English Patient. Those are like two movies that I'm going to I will not watch. And Kristen Scott Thomas is in both. You did have a young Scarlett Johansson in this movie. It just looked like the most boring thing ever. It was a big movie. Like, I heard a lot about it. That's why it's on my list here. But it wasn't for me to watch. Did you ever watch that?
And he got Golden Globe nominated for director in this one. So, yeah, huge movie, but I'm not going to see it.
All right, in 2000, he did a movie that I know you like. I think I've only seen this once too, but The Legend of Bagger Vance he directed.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yep.
So he wasn't in it, but he directed it, and being golf fans like we are, that was a good movie. Will Smith and Matt Damon, right?
Matt Damon, correct, yes.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, you can say, bad critical things about it with the character of Will Smith being, magical, which is a common ploy in movies. But, I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I love Matt Damon. Love pre-slap Will Smith. So, yeah absolutely. Yep.
All right, I'm going to jump way ahead now unless you have something in between. I was going to go all the way to 2013. So what do you got before that?
I got 2001 Spy Game.
Oh, I've not seen that movie.
I watched it, I'm assuming when it came out. This is, of course, Brad Pitt and Robert Redford. And, again, CIA thriller. Really enjoyed it. When it came out. I enjoyed it now because, again, there's a lot of cat and mouse. So it's Robert Redford's last day on the job at the CIA. And he has been in the CIA forever. He knows all the tricks. He knows how to pull strings from his desk. So essentially, Brad Pitt got caught. He's a CIA operative. Got caught trying to get a prisoner out of a Chinese prison. And he is going to be executed in 24 hours. And Robert Redford, on his last day, needs to call in favors, do this, do that, play the game, and basically try to rescue him from under his superiors who are fine letting him, be killed. The one thing I will say is he's going to prison for the rest of his life. At the end of this movie, yet it's almost like if he's able to drive out of Langley and get past the gates, then he's out of the jurisdiction of the CIA and they can't come get him because it was his last day. We'll let it slide that he used, military assets and sent in, 2 helicopters full of commandos to rescue these 2 people from a Chinese prison. So I don't think he's getting off scot-free. That, was a little bit strange at the end, but it's just, it's such a fun movie to see him, work his magic from Langley halfway across the world in China. So I enjoyed it. And Brad Pitt's not that much. He's really not in it that much, but obviously a big character in it. So a fun movie.
You got anything after that? I have All Is Lost as my next movie here.
I don't think so. No.
All right, so that came out in 2013, and you mentioned Jeremiah Johnson, kind of the solo movie. This is truly a solo movie. We still had Netflix discs for around in 2013. I was one of the last hangers on, and so I remember getting this on the disc and watching it with my wife. It's a castaway type of movie, but to the extreme even more. So he's the only character in the movie, and in fact, there's only 51 spoken words in the entire movie. This one is critically acclaimed on many top 10 lists. It's just him in a boat out in the sea. Doesn't end well. I mean, really, you wouldn't expect it to when you're watching it. There's only 51 words and nobody else is in it. What's going to happen? But, it keeps your attention. It was really good. And you've got this really old guy playing this role here. And it's kind of like, so we do have a couple more after this where he kind of got into, the big Marvel universe and everything. Okay. But this is like his swan song. And it was a great way to go out because he was terrific in it. And it's a really good movie.
Golden Globe nominated for Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not. I have not.
All right.
Makes me seasick just thinking about it. I got a weak stomach.
All right. Then the last two I have is he joined the Marvel Universe and was in Captain America the Winter Soldier, and he was in Avengers Endgame. Yep. Which I've seen Avengers Endgame. I did not see the Captain America movie. I'd like Marvel okay, but I'm not that into it. I didn't even realize he was in it until I saw him in Endgame because I hadn't seen the other one. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that Robert Redford in this movie now?
It sure is.
So I don't have a lot to say about it. It's cool that he got into it. Hopefully it made some more people aware of who he is because he's awesome. Do you have anything to say about him in the Marvel?
No, I agree. I'm glad that he was able to dive into the world. I mean, good Lord, everybody's in the universe. He should, have his spot in it as well, as awesome as he is. And I thought he was good in it. He's the ultimate bad guy, playing the supposed good guy in that universe at the time as the head of Hydra, but also the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, again, is kind of where things started going down. Like, really, how can you be the head of both? Anyway. But I thought he was good in it. I enjoyed the movie. This was still during the phases of the MCU. I kind of started dropping out after Endgame, but I enjoyed a lot of the movies up to that point. So I liked him in it, and I liked the movie.
All right, so heck of a career.
Yeah,
started way back in 1960 and finished by being in the Marvel movies. I mean, that's something else right there.
Well, and he was nominated for Best Actor in a Comedy in 2018 for The Old Man and the Gun. So, I mean, he was still,
that's
being nominated for it.
I didn't even realize that was a comedy. I've heard of the movie, but I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah, I've not seen it either, but worth a mention if you're going to get a Golden Globe.
That's one I should put on my list too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Robert Redford was this good-looking guy, great actor, could do it all, could carry a movie. He had it all. He's a movie star.
Yes, he is.
So that's what we're drafting tonight. So we didn't really talk about any criteria. I just said, how about best traditional leading men? And I think the key word there is traditional. Take that however you want. We didn't define it. But like I look at it like these are movie stars, and I'm gonna pull back lots of years. You could do current ones too, however you want to do it. But we're drafting movie stars, the traditional leading men. Yeah. Like for example, a guy who is a leading man in a lot of movies now, and a lot of movies I like actually, is like Seth Rogen. Like he's not on my list. He's not a traditional leading man. No, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I base this on, unfortunately, I'm going looks. That's a big part of it. Is a factor for me.
However, some of them are definitely less traditionally good looking than others on my list here.
Sure, but I'm also thinking who's getting
movie
top
star.
billing? Yeah. Who's getting top billing in this movie? Who's getting butts in the seats? And is your big leading man over and over and over again?
Yep.
And that's who I'm looking to put on my list.
So I kind of I got the first pick, and I kind of wish I didn't because I didn't even know who I was going to pick first.
I don't
But after
even know
looking, I've got different ways I could go about this. I'm picking Robert Redford. After all this
Why not?
discussion, I mean, he's in The Natural. He's in Butch Cassidy. And now he was with Paul Newman in Butch Cassidy and the Sting. And he's with Dustin Hoffman on All the President's Men. So he's not always like the main one guy.
Yep.
But he had plenty of other movies where he was. And he's got the looks. He's got it all. So I think that he's a great person to start it off with.
He's the first guy I wrote down, obviously, because we're basing this list off of him. So, oh my God, who do you pick here? I think I'm going to go with the guy who got top billing in Witness. I'm going to go Mr. Harrison Ford.
Okay. That's not at all who I expected you to go with first.
Well, I mean, he anchors two massive franchises.
Yes.
With Indiana Jones and Star Wars. And I mean, he is the man, and then you add in there, Clear and Present Danger and Air Force One and
The Fugitive, my favorite.
The Fugitive. I mean, he puts butts in seats. So
you're right.
I'm going with Ford.
He's a great pick. I just didn't see it coming. All right, then I'm going to go. So I'm going to go way back now. And we just watched a movie the other night that I love more and more every year. And that's It's a Wonderful Life. And I saw the movie when I was a kid once, and I'm like, okay, well, this is a movie, whatever. But we sat down and watched it on a Sunday morning like 3 years ago and fell in love with that movie. And it might be one of my all-time favorite movies. And James Stewart, not only is he in that, but he's in Rear Window, which is another one of my all-time favorite movies. And then he did The Philadelphia Story and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which maybe I haven't seen those, but I've heard of them. I know how big he was. But it's fresh in my mind, and It's a Wonderful Life is just too much to pass up. So I'm going back to Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, that's a great pick. All right. Good Lord. This is so, I'm going with my favorite 007. I'm going with Sean Connery.
Oh, see, now that's one I didn't even think of.
And I mean, he did, a lot of movies later in his career too. I mean, The Rock.
Yeah.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. I mean, anybody who can utter that line with credibility is high on my list.
A movie that we've done, The Untouchables.
The Untouchables.
Which again,
he wasn't the leading man.
No, but he's a big part of what made that great.
Yep, he sure was.
All right. Next, then I could go way back again, or I can't believe there's a guy that you haven't taken yet. Now, I'm going to try to really spread this out. I'm going to go more current.
Okay.
And so the first guy I thought of outside of like older ones, I got to have George Clooney on my list.
Good pick.
Ocean's 11 and Out of Sight, one of my all-time favorites. Three Kings, The Perfect Storm, Up in the Air, Michael Clayton, Gravity, which I didn't like, but I mean, George Clooney is just the coolest, and he is like the modern day movie star. Yes.
Did you watch the new movie with Sandler?
Sandler. I didn't even know it existed until like 2 nights ago, so now it's on my list, so we will watch it. But
I did just happen to watch it. And it started, it's a slow burn in the beginning. But, as it progresses, like you really... Man, the end of it, it's really good. I really, really enjoyed the end of it. And it's very sentimental. And the very, very end is, I can't help but smile thinking about it again. It's awesome. I thought it was well done. So I would recommend it. I love that pick.
Yeah, good. And I'm going to watch that movie because, I like Adam Sandler, but you put them together and I'm going to like that.
Sandler is... he's really good. And he got Laura Dern in it as well.
And Adam Sandler is good. When he gets he can do it.
I completely agree.
All right. I like it. I got my generations going. What do you got next?
I might take this one just to piss you off. I'm going Steve Martin.
He's not on my list.
Are you kidding me? He puts butts in seats.
I don't know. I
love Steve Martin. He's a headliner, man. You see the box, the DVD case or the VHS case. He is the headliner, in so
I
many
love
things
it.
that he's
I love
done.
that you picked him. I'm glad
Yep.
you got. But no, I didn't consider him a movie star or a leading man like that.
Oh yeah, top billing, baby. I'm taking Steve Martin.
Okay, didn't see that coming either. All right, well, I feel like I'm going to take the guy that I can't believe you haven't taken yet. I'm going to take Paul Newman.
Yeah, I have him highlighted.
I kind of thought
and
you'd
I
take
love
him
him
first overall after I took.
Yeah.
So Paul Newman is in The Sting. He's
Yep.
in Butch Cassidy. He's in The Hustler. He's in the movie Slapshot. And then,
Yep.
I mean, the big one, if we ever do Paul Newman someday, we'll go back and watch Cool Hand Luke again, which I watched many, many years ago, but loved it. You got a failure to communicate.
Is failure to communicate.
I mean, you had like Redford and Newman were like the rock stars. It's like
the guys.
Two of the first ones I would have thought of. And then Paul Newman went on and he did a lot of really fun stuff too later. I like that you brought up he's a little more of the comedic. Even though he seems serious, he can do the comedy really well.
And some killer salad dressing. All right. So this is my fourth pick, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going with Denzel Washington.
Okay. I do have him down.
Yeah, I mean, so many great roles. I loved him in Flight. I think that's such an awesome role. I mean, obviously you've got Training Day, Fences, Remember the Titans, the
Malcolm
Equalizer movies. What's that?
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. You've got Crimson Tide.
Well, and the one that I love is Devil in a Blue Dress, where he is really the leading man in that movie.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah,
Glory.
Oh my God, yeah, Glory.
Which, I mean, that's more ensemble. Again,
ensemble.
But like he was like kind of stole the show there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, got him. I'm my last pick already, huh?
Yep.
Well, I got to take Marlon Brando.
Good pick. That was the third guy I wrote down.
I'm between him or an even older one, but I'm going to take Marlon Brando because he's been in a few more things I might have seen or know. So, of course, there's The Godfather.
Yep.
But there's A Streetcar Named Desire. There's On the Waterfront. I mean, and he was just kind of considered the greatest actor ever there for a long time. And
yep.
I don't know. He's got to get mentioned.
He does. He does.
He kind of went a little cuckoo later on in life. Maybe that's why he's maybe not quite seen all that way anymore.
A little bit.
But he was that guy.
Well, and I brought him up in Superman. You know, he was the original.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jor-El. All right, I'm going with the Duke. I'm going John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne. He's the last one on my list down there.
I gotta have the Duke. I mean, good Lord, how many films was he in? I mean, good Lord, he just kicked them out.
So I didn't have him high just because I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but
sure. Yeah, I've
seen the remake of True Grit by the Coen brothers, but I've not seen the John Wayne True Grit.
He only has 616 credits, but of course that's going to be a lot of stuff besides actor. But I was just going to look to see what he's got for acting credits, real quick. We've got acting 184.
Okay. All right, we are going to make a third list now.
Yep.
And so I don't know if you want to try to pick some that are a little more off the beaten path or not, but
I've still got some really great ones
I want. I just didn't know this. Okay, I'm going to go for my first one on this list for Pete here. I'm going to go Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
So again, maybe not the most handsome traditionally, man, but Chinatown, Cuckoo's Nest, The Shining, even Batman, top billing in Batman, and just everything. The guy's giant. Got to have him on there. Butts and seats.
Speaking of butts and seats, you already brought it up earlier tonight. I'm going with the mustachioed one. I'm going Burt Reynolds.
Oh, wow. I didn't have him down either, but that's good because he was for a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, this is a little more off the beaten path, I think, there.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to go with the other like present day one that maybe he's not as handsome classically as George Clooney, but he's probably, I mean, he's even bigger. I'm going Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I mean,
good pick.
He's like the actor of our generation. I could sit here and list about 100 movies that he was the headliner in.
Yep.
Tom Hanks. We don't need to go into any more detail.
And I'm going to go with a guy who's been in a million things and made a million movies as well later on in his career. I'm going Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, that was another one I was going to get to. Clint Eastwood, and then we have one pick left. Who should I pick? I am going to pick... Okay, I got to go with this guy because we all love him so much, especially me and Pete. You talking to me?
Yeah.
You must be talking to me. Robert De Niro.
Second guy I wrote down.
Counselor, could you be there?
Mm-hmm. That is excellent. Right. So all but one pick of the ones on my top line that I wrote down got picked. So Redford, De Niro, Brando, Ford, and Clooney got picked off the top line that I happened to write down.
I should have put this one on Pete's because actually my number one overall that I kind of thought of first as like the leading man was Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, I didn't even think. I got Clark Gable and Henry.
I almost picked him. I almost picked Humphrey Bogart first overall, but then I decided to go with Redford. So I also, on Super Bowl Sunday this year, we went and saw Casablanca in the movie theater because it's playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love that movie too, and he's so great. Now, I haven't seen as many of his movies, so that's probably why I didn't put him up there. Like James Stewart, to me, I've seen more.
Right.
But but everybody knows Humphrey Bogart. I mean, come on.
Yep.
He's the guy. He's the original.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we got here? Russell Crowe I have down as another present day one. He's he's kind of up and down. Not everybody loves him all the time, but man, could he carry a movie there for a while?
Yes, he could.
He was just get out of his way. One who's maybe not as good looking. He's not as tall, but Dustin Hoffman.
Yep,
The Graduate,
on my
Rain
list.
Man.
Yep.
Al Pacino.
Yep.
Got to have Al Pacino on the list.
Yep.
Sidney Poitier, we mentioned from whatchamacallit?
Sneakers. Yep.
Heat of the Night, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And then I've not seen Lilies of the Field, but that's like that one. That's the one he won the Oscar for, or the first Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
I love To Kill a Mockingbird, the book and the movie, so we got to have Gregory Peck mentioned as a classic one. And I have one left, another more present day one, probably the most decorated of all of them, really, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, that was one of the highlighted ones I didn't end up picking.
I mean, between him and Tom Hanks, it's kind of a hard call on who has more Oscars. I don't even know, but like they're the two.
It seems like when Daniel Day-Lewis only does a role to win an Oscar, like every damn time, and he's amazing.
Pretty much.
All right,
anybody else?
Yeah, I got a lot here because I just so Brad Pitt. If we're going to mention Clooney, we're going to mention Pitt.
As you got into the talking tonight, I thought of him. He's a good one.
Yep. DiCaprio. I mean, he's going to highlight a lot of.
That's hilarious. I didn't even think of him. I got Clooney. I got Hank. I didn't even think of DiCaprio. That's insane. I can't believe we didn't pick him.
And we got Tom Cruise. I mean, he's a massive box office draw, leading man.
Of course.
Just based off of Tin Cup and Bull Durham and The Untouchables and Dances with Wolves, just everything. Costner's a big one.
I'm glad you brought him up.
Kurt Russell, Tombstone and Miracle and Overboard, and I mean, I don't, just about anything. Big Trouble,
I like Kurt Russell a lot. I like that you brought him up. Breakdown.
Possibly one of the biggest names in the 80s, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, you could have him on there too. See, I didn't really go with the comedian route. That's where you got to define it. Like in my head, that's why Steve Martin. I was thinking more guys that were in, good looking, leading men, more dramatic or romantic in some cases, movies. Like those
you're
are the
reason these guys don't get Oscar noms. Who's after? You know who I got after Eddie Murphy? Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I didn't have like Tom Cruise on my list because I think of him more now as just like action star.
Action.
And like I kind of differentiated action from. I had Harrison Ford on my list, but a little lower because of that.
Mm-hmm. I got Robin Williams, not necessarily the
Yeah.
the looks, but I mean, God, comedy and drama. I mean, he does
fits
it
as good
all
as any of those guys there.
so amazingly well. You want to talk about one of the greatest actors of his generation, Christian Bale would be one of those.
That's a good
I
one.
mean, talk about drama and action. He's hitting all that. Bruce Willis, I mean, he headlined a ton of movies, much like Schwarzenegger and Stallone. You didn't go comedy, but Bill Murray, huge box office draw for many, many years. Nick Cage still puts out great movies over and over and over again. He's been doing it for decades. This one might be one of a bigger stretch, but Michael Keaton, I just love him so much, and
I don't think he's a stretch compared to some of the other ones you said. He's up there with them.
A big one, more present now. McConaughey, he puts butts in seats. Time to Kill, Dallas
and he's
Buyers
got more
Club.
of that traditional, like he's kind of the way I'm thinking of it. He fits more of that style.
Yep. And then the last one I have is Alec Baldwin.
Oh yeah,
good looks, great actor, dramatic roles early on, and obviously a little bit more comedy in the television realm.
Yeah, so. And that's again, I'm glad you brought a lot of those guys up, but that's where we differ on like how you define it, and we didn't even talk about it. So then we get to mention more people that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
because I was going back more, I was looking for older people because I don't feel like there's a lot of movie stars anymore.
Well, and like I said, I had Clark Gable and Henry Fonda on my list, but I didn't watch a ton of their movies.
Or Gary Cooper. I have seen High Noon.
Yep. So I didn't really think to throw them out as far as the ones I wanted on my list because I'm more familiar with these guys over here. So yeah, a lot of fun. And of course, Redford, huge, started in the 60s and all the way through to the 2020s. So amazing career. So what do we got next week?
So next week, we're going to go back to our Christmas episode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be kind of like these. We're going to go through the way I plan to do it. If you're okay, it's kind of chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
Through all the TV specials. So we've done a lot of our favorite Christmas movies, and we talked a little bit about some of the specials. But we're going to go through all the great TV specials that we grew up watching and loving, and share our thoughts on all those, and go through that. And then we're going to draft our favorite things about the Christmas season. So we've got a nice little bow to put on it for you next week.
We certainly do. Hey, Brad.
Hey, what?
What band is made up of entirely traditional leading men?
Well, Preacher Row, for sure. Yeah, they don't just have one lead singer. They're all traditionally leading men.
Yes, they are. And we love them, and you get to listen to them right here. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Bye.